Shalom everyone, and Chodesh Tov. We are on the new moon of Sivan. Sivan is the month of Gemini. Sivan is the third month of the Hebrew biblical year. And remember, when we're speaking about Kabbalistic astrology, we're not talking about what regular people know about astrology. It's something much, much broader. We just have to remember that what the Torah is teaching us, the teachings in the Torah, on Kabbalah, it's all about that we live in a universe that is structured for one thing. The creation was perfect, we were perfect, however we wanted to perfect. We humans, we wanted to become like the Creator. We wanted to create also. We wanted to share also. So therefore, this dark universe is being created so we can shine, so we can create our own light, so we can have our own creativity, and we can transform darkness into light. And therefore, everything around us, including the stars, the zodiac signs, the forces of the light around us, within us, our body structure, everything is tuned into one thing: how to give us opportunities to transform, become better, overcome challenges, and to earn the endless light waiting for us. And especially that comes forward when we're talking on the month of Sivan. Why is it so crucial, especially in the month of Sivan? Why? Because this is the month of the Mount Sinai revelation, which is the most important event in the history of mankind since mankind has history. Why is it so important? Because this is the day, which means on that month came the day of Shavuot, that is being celebrated in 6 days from today. Shavuot, 7 weeks after the Exodus, there was Mount Sinai revelation. And it's not just that there was a revelation of some laws. Do not steal, do not kill. Well, we know about it. No, it was not the laws. It was the concept. The concept that we have to understand that this universe is wired, programmed, geared at something, which is what we just said before. You want to become as God. You want to be creative and sharing and giving, and you want to feel the perfection. You want to feel that godliness. You want to feel the magic. You have to create it on your own, and these are the rules. Why was this month chosen to be the month that gives humanity such a gift, the gift of divinity, the gift of immortality, the gift of how to become partners with the Creator and unite with Him and His creation? And this is what the whole thing is about. So, and that's why when you read the Zohar or you read anything about this month, when we're talking about what are the forces that we are dealing with, before we go to the little things of the astrology-like stuff that, they're also right. But first you need to understand the big picture. So yes, people that were born in the sign of Gemini, they don't like to be bored, they have to be creative, and they're very intellectual and stuff. But that's not the most important thing. It is important to know that stuff too. However, the most important thing is what is expecting us during this month. It's like every month is another ride that the Creator is giving humanity. There's another lesson, not just every month, every hour, so every day, but it's divided into months and weeks and days and hours. So, in order to get just the beginning, just introduction to it, let's start with the Bnei Issachar. Bnei Issachar was a great Kabbalistic Hasidic rabbi. He lived in what is today Poland, some beginning of the 19th century. And what he did, he just joined together all the writings in the old sources, in Jewish writings about each month. So it's very easy to relate to what he's saying because everything, you can find everything in one place. So if you're a little bit lazy like me, you just go to him instead of running to a lot of books, and we read some other books. But that's the most precise. So that's what he's saying. צירוף הוויה של החודש הזה, he's starting with the permutation of the tetragrammaton of this month, and just whoever is new to that. The tetragrammaton, the Youdkevitch, is not just the name of God. You have to remember, the way a Kabbalist look at the creation is more like a software programmer is looking at the universe. It's a matrix. Everything is permutations of signals and letters. Whatever we see around us is a combination of forces. And these forces, if you understand them, of course, that you are ahead of everybody else in the game of achieving your life goals. Okay? So, when we're talking about the Youdkevitch, it's a DNA. The tetragrammaton, it's a DNA. There are 4 letters and there are 12 possible mathematical permutations of these 4 letters. Each one of them is a channel of one of the 12 signs of the zodiac. So if you want to understand the month, understanding the permutation will help you. It's also, if you want to tap into the energies of this month, this is the time to use that permutation of this month, because that's how you go today with modern computer and whatever, all of this technology around. It's much easier to study Kabbalah because you have high tech and Kabbalah is higher tech. It's much higher. Everything is part of one big program. Okay, so the permutation of this month is Yud, Vav, Hey, and Hey. Okay, what do you learn from that? It's first of all, he says Yotze mi Pasuk, and in the Tikkunei Zohar, there's a list of the permutations, but not only the permutations, also you have over there a verse in the Tanakh, somewhere in the whole old Jewish Bible, that the 4 letters are the initials or last letters of a biblical verse. This verse, the Tikkunei Zohar is teaching us, is in the book of Exodus, chapter 26, verse 19. Yedotav uletzela hamishkan hashenit. Okay? It speaks about, and soon it speaks about its arms of the tabernacle and the other side of the tabernacle. Okay, what is that for us? Okay, מזה יובן לך, דקדוק במקראי קודש. And from that you can understand in the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 1. Again, Exodus 19, verse 1. It says, בחודש השלישי לצאת בני ישראל ממצרים, ביום הזה באו, and so on the 3rd month for the Exodus, the Israelites came to the Sinai desert and they came to Mount Sinai. Okay? So why is it important to mention that the whole great revelation of Mount Sinai happened on the 3rd month? Why is that so important? Okay? הנה ביום הזה, here on this day, משמע לשלוש זמן אחר. Why it says on this day? So the Bnei Issachar is quoting, is saying, the Torah is saying that only this month is mesugal, has the capability to be able to present humanity with that gift that is called Mount Sinai revelation. And it's for all humanity, not just for the Jewish people. Because in many places in the Talmud it's mentioned that the Torah was given in all 70 languages. If there were only the people over there understood Hebrew and Egyptian, that would be enough. Why do you need Hungarian or Russian? Okay? So the answer is that everybody was supposed to get it. There's a legend saying that the other nations were also offered to receive the Torah, but they were not ready for that. It's like, we like to kill, we like to steal. It's kind of it's a legend. But as Rabbi Ashlag explained, it's to show us that the present, the gift, is for everyone who, however, the Israelites were the first ones to be ready to receive that idea that was presented on Mount Sinai. And what is the idea? Is the idea about access to powers by understanding how the universe is structured? No, the ancient Egyptians would love that idea. Okay? The ancient Babylonians would love to have this idea. Maybe the Mayas and the Aztecs, they were not at that time yet, but their predecessors, there were nations who wanted the power, but that's not enough. Wanting the power is not a justification to receive the Torah, because you can go on fire. If you connect to the Torah just because greed for power, this is very dangerous. Okay? So what is there? So Rabbi Ashlag is explaining what he's just saying in the next words. Avaliyot lekabbalat haTorah nitzavu hayu nechonim, which means there is something in this month, which is the third month. What do I mean the third month? If you learn Kabbalah, you understand that everything is standing first and for all on that idea of 3-column system. What does it mean 3-column system? Right, left, and center. Which means you want to achieve something, you need to have in that thing that you are preparing, right column, which means some sharing, left column with some receiving, and center column, the ability to put them together into one central column. What does it mean? If you want to achieve something and it's involved only with sharing, it can't work. Only with the receiving, it cannot work. You need to balance between the two, and therefore the idea of Mount Sinai is first and for all the idea of what Rabbi Akiva is teaching us, that the whole Torah is included in one golden rule: love others as you love yourself. Love others as you love yourself. And that's why when the Israelites are coming to Mount Sinai, it says, Vayichan sham Yisrael keneged ahar. And Israel camped over there in front of the mount. Camped. In English it doesn't do it, but in Hebrew, this verb, there's different word for plural and for single. For plural is vayachanu, and for single is vayichan. And the word being used is vayichan as single, not plural. How is that connected? Because the Bnei Yisachar adds, if you look at the permutation of this month is Yud-Vav, and whoever knows Kabbalah, Yud-Vav are male letters. You can tell because they are thin. Okay? Not all males are thin, but it's like, they don't have a width, they have only a length. Okay? And then come the two other letters, Hey, Hey, the two female letters. Okay? So there's a kind of polarity between the male and the female. And you see also when you read, we go back to Exodus 26, verse 19, Uletzela Mishkan Hashanit, and the other side of the Mishkan. And we spoke about it before, but in the beginning, chapter number 2, when it says that Adam was created and Eve was taken from his Tzela. Tzela means a side, the female side. Okay, so the other side. So when we're having two sides, male and female, me and you, coming together as one, that what creates the central column. Okay? The month of Sivan is the third month. Why? The first month is the right column, Nisan. Second month is Iyar, which is a left column, and which is Iyar, Shaul, Taurus. And the third one, Sivan, central column, Gemini. And what do we know about Gemini? Gemini, what's the symbol of Gemini? The twins. What's the symbol of Mount Sinai? The two tablets. Why? God could not write everything on one tablet? Couldn't use a smaller font or just extend the size of the tablet? Why does it need two tablets? Because the two tablets symbolize the central column. And what is the central column? It's the ability to synthesize, to communicate between two sides, me and you, a person and the other, two who are becoming one. Because what happens when two are becoming one? It's because they both learned to give and to receive in a balanced way, so two are becoming one. What does it mean, two who are becoming one? This is the idea of love. Love is about two ideas, two sides, male and female, giver and receiver. Doesn't matter whether, I'm not talking about the gender, I'm talking about aspects. A buyer and a seller. Okay, a teacher and a student. A father and a child, or a mother or a child. A bride and a groom. All of these polarities, our world is made of different polarities. So the only way to achieve divinity is to bring the two together and to create a unity. And there's another one, which is the most important that was given on Mount Sinai. When we do that, we create another thing, but that needs consciousness, connecting the upper worlds and the lower worlds. Mount Sinai revelation was not just a logical phenomenon, like people arriving to a great philosophical idea. No, there was a wedding. This is how the Jewish tradition calls it. It was a wedding between the heaven and the earth. The bride is the creator, the groom is the creator, and the bride is the people of Israel representing humanity. So when two are becoming one, that's the central column. And this is the place of the month of Sivan, the month of Gemini. Communication, unification, taking different sides and putting them together to become one. Okay, and therefore it had to be on the month of Sivan, Gemini. Zeu bayom hazeh, that's why it had to be that day and not another day. To receive, because it was ready to receive the Torah. דהיינו, ההכנה לקבלת התורה שמתחיל להאיר הצירוף הנ"ל. Which means when this permutation of letters, Yud, Vav, Hey, Hey, are starting to shine today on the new moon of Gemini, when these are starting to shine, those letters in the universe, we can see that. Most of us cannot see that. But we learn, in order to know it's there, to meditate on that, that what is being said prepares us to be able to receive that consciousness. And as I said, it is not a philosophical idea that came on Mount Sinai. Whoever thinks that the Torah is a philosophical, ideological, or any kind of intellectual property has a big mistake. It is much beyond that, because it's not just, you know, you have your side, I have my side, and we can somehow come to terms because of any kind of brainstorming process. No, it is a connection. It's like the two who are more together, they create something that is more than each other. Like, you know, if you remember that idea, but when you look at something with one eye, You close one eye and you look at your finger. Okay, if you do that. Okay, what do you see? I hope that you see a finger. Okay, what if you just close the other eye and look at the finger? Now, do you see the same picture in both eyes? No. Now, look with both eyes. Hopefully, you see only one finger. Are your two eyes arguing who's right? Or are they using the information each one is getting separately to create a 3D, more advanced picture? So, the fact that a man and a woman see things differently is a gift, because then you can see a broader dimensional picture. In fact, you have a partner and he sees things differently than you are. That's why you can see more. And what is love? When you feel that the other part, that your partner or any other person you are in interaction with, they complement you, they don't negate you. This is loving others as loving yourself, seeing the other person as completing yourself. That you need everybody else. All other human beings, when they are coming to be elevated, we need each one of them, because each person has the ability to deliver the message of the creation in an angle that nobody else can, and that's the whole truth. Everybody else together. Everybody together. And that's why the whole idea of looking at different aspects, different side, Tsela. That's why it says Tsela Mishkan. The other side of the Mishkan. It's about the other side. To see myself and the other side as one bigger picture. This is what Mount Sinai is about. And plus, not just this, how could that happen? If it's just on the intellectual base, it will never happen. But when you see it as also part of the spiritual journey of connecting the heaven and the earth, the physical and the metaphysical, the spiritual and the practical, the soul and the body, when you connect all of that together, it's that what Mount Sinai is about being able to realize that whatever we see is only one side, and our job is to learn to get more sides, and that the whole is much more fulfilling, exciting, whatever you just want. And that's our goal in life. This is what the month of Gemini is about. Okay? So, what do we understand from that? We understand from that we have in the month of Gemini, first of all, when we talk about people born in the month of Gemini. So if the month of Gemini is the third month of the year, central column. Why Geminis are into communication? They're versatile, fast, okay? Because it is this energy of being, in order to bridge between the customer and the seller, so there are a lot of them are very good salespeople. They're also good speakers because they can convey ideas, because it's all about communication, media, communicate and speed, fast. They think fast. So all of it. Now, it's not just it's the third month of the year, but it's also the third month of the spring. And whoever listened to the first 2 months, which were Aries and Taurus, we learned that there are 4 seasons in the calendar, and the first one, which is the spring, is the letter Yud. And the letter Yud is fire, Chokhmah, the light of wisdom, which is energy. These 3 months are charged with a lot of energy, and that's why the people of the month of Gemini, they're very, very energized. They can't sit still. They're on the go all the time. You have to be on the go. You have to be active all the time in order to convey, to connect, to be in both places at the same time. So you need a lot of energy for that. So here I said fire. But we know that Gemini is also an air sign. You have both. It's fire on the base because all the season, the whole season of the spring is fire, Kabbalistically. Okay? The third month is air or fire. And also in the conventional Western astrology, Gemini is known as an air sign. So you have twice air and one fire. You know, air and fire, whoever tried to do barbecue, just fire doesn't work. You need a lot of air. When you have enough air and some fire, whoa, that goes. And there's a lot of energy. So when Gemini really are connecting to the spiritual aspect that we just explained, that they have a mission and they can do the mission much faster and easier than others because they have that ability. As we said about this month has an ability to communicate, to join together, to see both sides, to be in both sides. And we know like Geminis, they can, within very short time, they can sense where is the other person standing, so you can communicate to them whatever in the way they're going to understand. That's a great gift. That's a great gift. That's why they're very good in selling and speaking. Okay? Because it's all about conveying an idea, conveying messages, which is very important. But the question is, what is the purpose? If you're doing it only for the purpose of making money, you're missing. What did we say? It's not just bridging between me and you, it's also bridging between the upper world and the lower world. If there's no spiritual energy involved, there's no caring, there's no giving, there's no participation, there's no learning from the opportunity to see that it's part of the grand picture of getting the world to become one, because love is the greatest goal. If you're not coming from that place, you're in trouble. And that's why you find a lot of people that, you know, that are Gemini, they're born Gemini, they have those amazing traits, but they're empty. So empty. Everything is physical. Everything is logical. They don't really understand the message. The message is not just joining me and you. It's joining me and you so the divine can come and dwell in between. It's not just the uniting of two people. It's, you know, what is a wedding? It's uniting two people so the Shekhinah, the divine presence, can dwell in them. If there's no purpose like this, so any wedding will come to a terrible place in which people are like, you know, the couple look at each other, it's like, why am I stuck with you? It's like, okay, I committed to be one with you, but I don't understand what do I get out of it? Why? Just remember, you look at the lamp, it is shining. How come it's shining? It's connected to the network, to the electric network. It's not coming from the lamp. Do you see the electricity? No. Do you see where it's coming? No. Okay? So, the moment the lamp, who could be glorified as a beautiful, amazing source of light, the moment that lamp is disconnected from the network, within a split second, poof, the light will be gone, even though that lamp was shining for a whole year. Same thing with us. The moment we are not aware that we are creatures of spiritual light, and we are here to connect to the network of light, bridge between the upper and the lower worlds, the moment we think we do it only for the logical thing, just because it's nice, just because it's humanism, just because it's a great idea of communism, which is a great idea. You know, great example. Look at the history of communism. What an amazing, great idea. All humans should get together and be one and share all the means of richness and whatever. Isn't that an amazing idea? So how come all of the communist adventures in a history, we're talking about 20th century and the beginning of 21st century, all of them reach huge disasters? And then the answer is because when it is, as Rabbi Ashlag explained already in 1930, when it is based only of human-to-human connection, it will be empty, and when it's empty, it will be draining the system, and finally nature will take its revenge. They will simply wilt because they won't have what to eat, because it is against human nature. Why? Human nature is also about what's in it for me. And why? What do I get out of it? If everybody gets the same, why should I bother? Why should I work harder? And Rabbi has explained, only when you work harder because you know that working higher will connect you stronger to the light, only then you have the ability to understand what does it mean to be one, and to share your life, your energy, your money, whatever, with other people. And that needs a lot of spiritual exercise. And therefore, you see it on communism, how it's being emptied. And you know what happens when something becomes empty? There's nothing empty. It's the evil penetrates inside, and it becomes evil. Because everything that is evil is because it's dark, because it is empty, because the light is being pushed away. And therefore you could see people of the sign of Gemini who could be brilliant, positive, full of energy, full of liking people, and they're wise, and they know stuff, and they can get to you like this, and they're charming and amazing and full of positive energy and information and knowledge and wisdom and stuff like this. And you see them in the empty, like hollow, shallow and hollow, and because of that they're like, I'm bored, I'm tired, I don't know what I'm missing, and it's like they just need run from one place to another to find another way of excitement which is false, and it's just cheating. You feel like you're being cheated. So we have to understand that this is a very important part. Now, to get the picture more complete, we need to get inside the ruling planet. And the ruling planet is the planet of Mercury. In Hebrew, Kochav. Kochav means in Hebrew, a star. It's the only star that is called a star. Why? If you look at the word Kochav, you have Kafvav, 26, Tetragrammaton, which is the upper world, and Kafbet, 22, which is 22 letters of the Hebrew letters that created the world. So it's again the creator and the creation, the giver and the recipient, the light and the vessel, represented in the planet Mercury. And that's why we know that Mercury is like exactly the same structure of Gemini. Okay, fast. When you want to say that somebody is really fast, you say he's fast as Mercury. If you have even seen Mercury falling and how it's fast going one place to another, this is Mercury. And that's why the planet is called Mercury. It's the fastest planet in the solar system. And the letter that created that planet according to the Book of Formation, I'm reading from Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Formation, Himlich ot reish v'kashar lo keter. And God put in rain the letter reish in government, and got it a crown, v'tzabo, and formed with it Kochav, planet Mercury in the world. Okay, what does it mean, the energy of planet Mercury? So we have here the Rabbi Avraham ben David of Tuskiris, and he wrote as follows about Mercury. Okay. Velo asfarim, and he has the books, ve'chokhmah, as we said, wisdom. It's not just about the month of, whatever we said about the month of Sivan, it's also about the planet. Ve'aktiva, and writing, it's all about communication and looking for wisdom and ability to bring wisdom to the world. Mitorah shebichtav ve'asechel, the Torah, the written Torah, and also asechel, the mind, ve'adibur, the speech, ve'aetza, the advice, ve'asbara, the explanation. Ulefi shetlo tzinor mitzad hagvura, since it has also a side of gevura, judgment. Why? Remember also central column has both sides. Yesh lo koach merivot, and how do you can also see in the structure of the letter Reish. The letter Reish, which is a very amazing stuff. Reish in Hebrew, the way you write it, you read it also as Rish. Now Rish in European languages is, rich. In Hebrew it means poor, the same word, poor. So how richness in a physical level makes you so poor, and why? You look at the way the letter Reish is written, like this. It's like everything inside is empty. It's only the outside. The whole inside is empty. So Rish means poor, it means hunger. And therefore, if you want to achieve wisdom and communication, you need to be hungry. If you're not hungry, there's no speed. Speed is a result of hunger, thirst, and desire. Okay, so, but it continues, so it has also fights. So you see that because of that, you can see from the side of Mercury and the month of Sivan, there could be also fights. Where are the fights coming from? Which is only judgment. When you connect to all of the wisdom, but for the purpose of argument, just for the purpose of argumentation and proving your point, but there's no need, spiritual need, to create a unity, to create something that is satiating, that brings people together, because it's all about who's smarter. That could be also a side that people that have a lot of Mercury or Gemini in their chart, they could be very argumentative, always trying to prove their side, but they don't really care. And they have to make a tikkun about that and to learn more about, the synthesis, which is their purpose and their mission in the world. Take both sides and make them one. ולא כל מיני אומנויות, and a lot of arts. He's responsible for the arts, because what is art? Art is about communication. Art is about inspiration. What means inspiration? Inspiration. You bring it from the outside. You communicate with the network, with the spiritual world. ולכן יתחבר עם כל אדם, and that's why he will always be able to connect to every person. If he wants to, they are very charming. ולא המלאכת הציור, and that's painting, והרקמה, embroidery, והכתיבה, writing. והוא מחבר האויבים אם לשלום מצד התפארת, and he unites the enemies, either for peace, that's coming from Tiferet. Tiferet is central column. What is central column again? Take two sides and showing them that their highest interest is to communicate and to cooperate. Okay? אם למלחמה מצד האש, but it could be also war. A communication could be battlefield, it's also communication. The two sides are brought together and they fight. That's from the side of the fire. Okay, you see, like the same thing with Gemini, also the planet Mercury, it's not always like this, has those two sides. Of one side is the air and the thinking and so on, the brightness, and on the other side, fire, a lot of fire. Okay. ופעמים יגיע לו שיבוש של sign, it's going to be destroyed or come to a distortion because of its heat and anger. חומו וכעסו. ולא העורמה. So as we said, where is the evil coming from? Lack of caring, lack of real awareness of the godly consciousness and awareness. Velo Orma, and that's also the brightness of being kind of tricky, because that's a lot of knowledge can give you the ability to trick other people. Okay? ויש לו מתק שפתיים and very nice wording from the side of the תפארת, ויש לו מיני שחוק וניגון מכוח החום הטבעי, and it's also laughter and music from, again, that's coming from the inner natural fire of Gvura. And because of the Gvura, there's a hunger for a lot of creativity. And it's also massive. What we know about Mercury? Mass communication. And that's what the Rabbi wrote some 800 years ago. It's about communication with the masses. Okay? But it's also, Mercury can be fighting, he's fighting against the enemies of the Creator. Who are the enemies of the Creator? Negativity, negativity, negativity. Selfishness. All of that darkness, these are the enemies of the Creator. People are not the enemies of the Creator. It's consciousness, it is thoughts and emotions that are the enemies of the Creator, which means the more you learn, the more you communicate, the more you are enlightened, then you have better ability to learn, to advance, and to move forward, to understand that hate, anger, whatever, is simply stupidity. Why? What do you get out of it? Headaches, diseases, high blood pressure. The wiser the person is becoming, but as we said, when it is wiser on the level of spirituality, the wiser the person, the more enlightened the person, but you can be also very, very intellectual, and as it says, Chochmat Adam Ta'ir Panav, the person's wisdom will make his face shine. And I know a lot of intellectuals, they're always bitter, always like grim. Why? That's not wisdom. That's a lot of information. It is a lot of knowing stuff, but without the knowing. There's no knowing over there. There's no connection. So they're not connecting to the real thing, which is Mercury's connection, which is going to talk about connecting to the divine. And that's why Mount Sinai Revelation was in this month. It's a month for connection to the divine by loving the others. And he has the prayers. The prayers. Why? What is the purpose of a prayer? To convince God to change what He thinks about me? No, I can never change God's mind about me. That's impossible. Why? He's the endless. He loves me. That is impossible to be changed. However, the purpose of a prayer is for me to connect in a better way to the light of the Creator. And if Mercury is about communication, Mercury will help me to communicate with the real thing, the light of the Creator. And that's why if you take the letter of the month of Gemini is the letter Zayin. And the letter Zayin, which is number 7, which is a manifestation, and what we said about the letter of the planet Reish and Zayin together, that Raz, a secret. Numerical value 200 Reish and 7 Zayin. 207 is also the Gematria, the numerical value of the word Or, light. Aleph is 1, 6 is Vav, Reish 200, 207. So, if we want to connect to illumination, Raz, the 2 letters of this month, it's about illumination, enlightenment. What is Mount Sinai Revelation? When almost 3 million people reach enlightenment in such a unity and harmony, not just among the people, but the people as one with the Creator. This is the ultimate one, the ultimate connection of the sides. The male side and the female side, the me side and the you side, the God side and the creation side. That's what Central Calling is about. It's about communication. That's what humanity is here for. Okay, and therefore, what is a prayer about? How do I elevate myself so I can unite with the divine? And therefore, you know, when you read a Kabbalistic prayer book, and before everything, there is a little prayer before the prayer. Leshem yichud kudsha b'yichu and shritei. In order to unify the upper and the lower, the Creator and the Shekhinah. This is what everything is about. We're not praying in order to cut a better deal. We're praying to be able to create that one consciousness of above and below, the me and the you. That's the Gemini. Two are one, me and you. Two tablets, me and you. Love the other as you love yourself. This is the bridge for freedom. The real freedom from every disease, and in the general world, as the Zohar is saying, from death. Not just the Zohar, it's also the Talmud. You know, and it's like the cantor. You know, what's the purpose of the cantor in the synagogue? It says the planet Mercury is the cantor. What does it mean like the cantor? If you have a cantor, you know, that is there to lead the prayer, not to show off, like an opera. Some cantors, they come to show off. You know, you hear me, you came to hear me. No, we didn't come to hear you. We came to connect to the Creator, to the divine, and the cantor is the guy who leads, he navigates, he leads the congregation, that everybody finding with the music and the tunes and the heart and the way the words are being said. It's a creativity. It's an art. Like a singer, then you sing with him and you feel like you're being elevated. Okay? So when the cantor is a true cantor, the whole community is in communion. It's connection. And that is the power of planet Mercury, to be that cantor that leads the prayer and elevates everybody upwards. Okay, so I think that this is like, it's all about communication, and whatever the traits of a Gemini are about the wisdom, and they can't stand still, and they need more and more action. It's all about, it's amazing, it's powerful, it's fire connected with air, connected with sharing water. When they put that together, or when the month has just started, we all have this energy coming and being instilled inside us of a Gemini to prepare all of us to be able to communicate, to connect, to be there, to feel, to have that consciousness of when we connect to each other, we can allow the divine to come and dwell inside us. So I think that this is a very powerful thing, and that's why it's a month full of a lot of bliss and positive energy. Unless you use all of that for being argumentative, and that's a danger. For being right, which is a danger. We're not here to be right, we're here to connect to the light. And to unite and to love. And that's the mission in this month. And with that mission, we can elevate ourselves to a much higher level than we have been before that month has started. Okay, and I realize there are some questions. Okay. Meanwhile, thank you very much.